All right, so the second part of 6.4 is over these problems with an and statement given just a little bit differently. And I want you to notice here that problems C, D, and E, that they have two inequalities in them. I like to call these three-sided problems. And when you see them, the first thing you should think is, oh, okay, this is a union, an and situation. They have to have things in common. And the easiest way to look at this is that this is a between problem. So when you read it as between, it makes much more sense that the solutions, the points that work, are between -6, -7, and +6. So that we have open dots at -7, and we have an open dot at +6. And all of the points that work are in between. So this is where my solutions are at. When you go to problem D, you'll notice that your x isn't alone. X plus 2 is between 0 and 3. We need to first get x all alone in the middle. Because this problem is now a three-sided problem, we can't just subtract 2 from the left and the right. This problem has two balance lines, so we need to make sure all three sides of the problem are subtracted or divided or whatever the case may be. So we have 0 minus 2 is -2. The symbols are always less than symbols, or less than or equal to, because we always want to go from smallest to biggest. We subtracted 2 to make sure that we had 0 there. So now we do in fact have x in the middle, less than or equal to 3 minus 2 is 1. So my points that work are between -2 and +1. -2 has an open dot because there's no equal to. +1 has a closed or a solid dot. And my points are in between. Problem E, notice that again, it's a three-sided problem, so if you need them, draw them in. Those balance lines, we've got two of them here. And this is a two-step equation to get x alone. We'll need to subtract 2 from all the sides so that -6 is less than 5x, which is less than 3, and then we'll divide by 5. We do that in the middle. We have to also remember to do it on both the left and the right. And we end up with some fractional values here, -1 and 1/5, or -6/5 is fine, is less than x. Oops, I lost my equal to. I better go back and put that in here so that I can bring it all the way down to here, 3/5. Now my marker's getting a little chunky here, so we'll try it out. I should have a filled dot at 3/5, so it's in between 0 and 1. And I should have an open dot at -1 and 1/5. So, well, that didn't work out so nicely. But -1 and 1/5 is not right at -1. It's in between -1 and 2. And my points that work are the ones that are in between, right? In union, those two inequalities. All right, so you have problem F, which goes back to the things we talked about yesterday. Let's take a look at it. Divide by 5. So we get x is greater than 8. The word is and, which remember is a union. X is less than or equal to 4. All right, so here's 8, and we have an open dot, and my points are supposed to go to the right. Less than or equal, so closed, and my points that satisfy that. So where are the points that are union or together, overlapping between those two arrows? There aren't any. So we know that this problem is an empty set. That's your 6.4 notes. Good luck.